we go again. It's that time. It's that time again. It's certainly a warm one, isn't it? Certainly a warm one, especially in my area. So, welcome along everyone to my live stream. I'm Danny C. Let's get down to business, shall we? First things first, how's everyone doing? I hope you're all well, and I hope all is well from your end too. So let's get straight to it then. So for today's menu, I'm going to be providing you my perspective of the Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup for what is round 3 of the Nations Cup in online qualifiers. So let's get straight to it then. So what's going to be happening before we kick things underway is that there's a 30 lap race, of course, with 6 minutes qualification, tyre wear set to ×2, along with the fuel rate, consumption rate set to ×1, and you do need and it's only giving you a set of soft compound tyres. So no minimum number of pit stops required. So other than that, it's just depending on how long can you make those soft tyres last for, if it's a 1 stop or 2 stop. Because Autopolis is renowned to be a tyre killer in that sense. So let's have a look at the chat for a moment. Good evening, Archie. Welcome along, my friend. Hope you're well. So thank you very much for tuning in as well. Not messing around, just like straight on it. Although I have done some practice, so I'm not too bad, thank you, Archie. Thanks for asking. Hope all is well from your end too. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in. So this is what I'm going to go for this in this particular kind of race. In a specified car where you do need to run a mid-engined rear-wheel drive GT3 car, where you only have the likes of the Lamborghini, the Audi R8, Honda and SX, Renault RS01. Trying to think what else is there. Yeah, another car, of course. Anyhow, so I'm going to go with the Lamborghini, as I have plenty of memories with the Lamborghini GT3, and I just love that naturally aspirated V10 engine sound. That sounds good, buddy. It's a warm one out there in my area, I'll be honest. Proper warm outside, and obviously pretty warm when you're doing some training also. So some of the buildings will have aircon, so therefore I'm sure you'll be in good hands also. So before we get any further, then obviously I'm going to go for a quick toilet break, and I'll be back shortly. Yeah, definitely a warm one for sure. Good evening, Indian Stig. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you're well. Hope all is well from your end too. Good luck to those who are taking part of the Third round of the GT World Series Nations Cup online qualifiers at Autopolis. Let's see about who I've got in the lobby. For those who don't know Indian Steak, he has a channel for those who like to go and check him out. He did do open lobbies, as well as the GT World Series Nations Cup and Manufacturers Cup experiences, as well as doing some daily races, although he publishes some of the videos as well. So Indian Steak's your guy to go and check out. So, and we've got our friend Dustin in the lobby. Welcome along, Dustin. So let's say hello to our friend Dustin. See how many points do we get for this win? 313, so 313 for the race win. Anywhere in the top 8, jobs are good, un, which gets you 222 at least. So, and it looks like there's 2 Ferraris. So majority of the field are in the Lamborghinis, whereas 2 in this lobby I've gone with a Ferrari. That's going to be interesting. I'm sure of that. So I've no idea what to expect, but a sip of this sparkling flavoured water. Raspberry and blackberry for this one. So let's do it. Let's go for it. Oh, you did wrong race, and then the first lap and was hit off in the first lap. Oh, sorry to hear how that went, but I'm sure another opportunity will come, my friend. So I'm just gonna wait for at least 30 seconds or something, see how everybody's and you can hear the engine notes rising whilst in the pit box, trying to get out, and then yeah, we've got some spawning back in also. I set the brake balance to 5 to the rear. And then give myself tight the same person spawning back in. Just try to get a better track air. Clean air. Pretty understandable, of course. And we've got quite a lot of fresh air up front. And he spawned back in because he wants more track position. Very understandable. Got the tyres warmed up nicely. And the brakes. So I'll probably get at least 2 flying laps in. That's for sure. And then foot flat to the floor. Now. Let's see what I can do. Feels nice and neat so far, so good. Let's see what lap time does that get me. Close enough to the 44s. Don't know if I'm going to get quicker than that, but we'll find out very shortly. There we go. We're on the final corner. It's going to be a close one, but it's a bit improvement, which puts me up to P6 momentarily. But it could well change. So me and Dustin are sharing the third row for the time being. But for another toilet break in less than 90 seconds. And I'm back. So somebody's jumped ahead of me and Dustin. So there's not really much between Dustin and myself. He did a 146 and I did a 181. Although I've improved on my lap time. I'm just going to spare this moment to wish everyone the best of luck. And hopefully we get a clean race. Will it be a one-stop strategy or will it be a two-stop strategy? So, with this track being known as a tyre killer, mostly on the front lefts, then we'll find out what happens on this occasion. And let's play the music. Let's get down to business and do the talking on the track. Good luck and have fun. Let's do this. And it's a grid start with 4-star check as well. So, obviously, the Ferraris will be having the advantage as well. And then, speaking of the Ferrari, I've got one behind me. So I'm just going to have to be mindful on the standing starts. So there's Dustin there. And then myself with number 7 on the board. And there's a Ferrari. The top Ferrari in there. And there's another Ferrari bringing out the rear on the bottom row. Let's do this. That Ferrari's off the line. I saw that coming. A lot of pushing and shoving going off there. Kept it together whilst dealing with some Constantino effects that had happened around me. Dusty's behind me as well. A lot of pushing and shoving going off between the Lambos up front. Keep my nose tidy. And get a good drive through there as well, if I can. And listen to that noisy V10 engine scream down the straight. And somebody's quit. Thank you very much, Unique. Welcome along, buddy. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope all is well from your end. So the battle for P3s are heating up nicely, as you can see. Kev's had a moment there while trying too hard, and we're up a place, and so is Dustin, who was following me through. Got so much momentum on the Ferrari now, as the Ferrari driver is feeling the pressure. And Dustin's right on my bumper as well. Not close enough to make a lunge on Kevin. I feel a bit of understeer at this moment, but it didn't stop me there. Saw you there, Justin. Almost. Got a bit deep there. Yeah, it was a bit erratic from what I've seen from behind. It's still there, it's still there. Kept it within the light line, hopefully not a penalty. Do a switchback on Kevin. And through goes Danny C. Nice one. Racecraft for you. I don't know about everyone else, but my tyres are absolutely toasted, especially that front left. Good evening, Andrew. Welcome along, buddy. Couldn't quite see the commenter whilst I've got that much going off there. It seems like there's a couple that's quitted also. Ah, any need for that? Oh, sorry to hear you're at a loss, buddy, but it was just... It's just everywhere you're looking at. You see, they're all just sailing, but I'd like to see what brake balances everybody else is on. Because I was just like literally running 5 to the rear, just to get a bit of rotation, but that ain't doing any favours. Not only that, it's affected the controller users also. Just need to keep it on the track and trying to keep it, extend the stint best I can. Oh, bollocks. Breaking up my marker and then I got hit. I'm gonna have to come in at the end of this lap, because otherwise I'll be struggling like mad, especially with that left front. So if I don't run it on zero, don't run any brake balance other than just keep it to the middle, see how it goes. So it gives everybody else a chance to go and see like about how the strategy's panning out and with the fuel loads, etc. Need a good outlet there, if I can. And it would be crazy for some of them if they could do a one-stop strategy. So I've only taken one. So into the 46s straight away. Close enough to the 45s. Little steering input as possible whilst running in the clean air. Got a long, long way to go. Green flags, so there was a yellow flag that's happened there somewhere. Another 46, and then Kev's done the 45. Like somebody's had a moment there with someone. Must have been contact. So we're starting to see a couple more people coming in for a new set of tyres. So I've only taken some. Obviously, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I might make most out of a sticky situation, even at the track where it's a tyre killer, mostly on the front left. A bit deep on there. And there's more coming in as well. Some are going onto the one stop and he was there. I saw him. Got it around the outside, kept it around the outside. And another person's coming out of the pits, having changed tyres. The Italian's reeling me in now while he's on new tyres. If he wants to go, he can go. While he's on a different strategy. And I'll follow you best I can. So the brake balance change has done the trick so far, so good. I've just been steady with the tyres also. And somebody's coming in for new tyres also. Just need to watch the polar driver right behind me. A lovely switch back on the Polish driver. Who's going to be last in the brakes? Whoa, what the fuck was that? Going to be impossible to try and get it to another 2 laps, having stopped on the end of lap 9. Kev's coming in, but he's going to pay the price later on. He's going to have to do the unthinkable also. Yellow flag, something's happened. God knows what. So we have a couple of people who's pitted for new tyres. Just let these people buy one there on a different strategy to I am. Which it's proving to be the case that to get another lap on these tyres has just not been easy, for sure. It's just the right-handers that I'm struggling. Comeback is on. So it's damage limitation for this one. See what I can do from there. So we're into the 14.5s at last. Whilst the fuel load's gone down as well. Just need to keep it on the racing line and well away from the marbles. slowly catching up on the Polish driver, but it's a big ask to try and reach the top 8. Five laps remaining. And it looks like everybody else is seen out to the end of the race on these current tyres. Which I'm not going to gain anything from. For what I had to do was damage limitation mostly with tyre wear, and you know, it is what it is. Ah, 3 laps to go. Nearly there. Nearly there. Two laps to go. Probably a big ask to try and pinch P13 off the Polish driver. 4.3 second the gap. But he's pitted a lap or two earlier than me. Oh, somebody's had a moment with the yellow flags that came out. So we're on the last lap now. 3.1 seconds, so I've not really gained much of course. Over the just shave a second off. And that person's going to be struggling, especially with that front left tyre graining like crazy. So well done to those who finish miles in front. Because they are the real tyre saving experts in that sense. With the right equipment, etc, etc. Yeah, one more lap and I would have had him. But I'm not fussed where I finish because it's one of them races where you're just going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have to choose to fight for another day. And that's what I'm going to have to do. And well done to those who took part. I'm not sure if I'm going to go once more, but for now I'm just going to have to leave it. So I've got the replays. So I just want to spare a moment to say well done to Dustin. I mean, this is the thing that so there must be on a certain not just with a certain brake balance setting, but also with the use of the wheel, or those who get that, who can get that rapid, that instant response, where to get the tires to a certain length, and so it's crazy. Like well, how these guys like finish further up front and then only to leave me with what is 156 on the board momentarily, even though 3 others have DNF'd. And it's like what Andrew was saying, everyone in this race was as two-stop, then he was leading the entire way. The guy and the guy behind pitted on lap 17, and I stopped on lap 20, and then he was just like pulling 2 seconds, and then so it must be something, and 1 lap further to preserve tyres. I got lucky with the pitches, so it was a good decision in the end, says the individual. And of course, the track temperatures were which were really high, even though the temperatures are 29 degrees Celsius, which is pretty hot, and somewhere like close enough to let's say 90 degrees Fahrenheit, if you convert it in that way. So we'll have a look at the replay and see how things are panned out, and so I got to a pretty decent start, and then it was only the Ferraris that they were able to get off the line well. And so far so good. I was just like moving up some places whilst there was a bit of argy-bargy going off. And a lot of pushing from Kevin, and of course, well, Kev as well. So if anybody wishes, well, feel free to highlight something about on a certain lap and corner, and I'll have a look at it and give my views on it and so. So obviously, as you can see, Kev was just going for it, a little bit of pushing and shoving, and then, which of course he got a bit wide, and I was able to make most of his misfortune, and then so did Dustin. So I was literally right on Kevin's heels as well in the Ferrari. And then just like to see what Kevin has been doing to Dustin. So he went for like a proper dive onto the inside, that sort of thing, and then pushed Dustin off right. That's just a no-no, mate. That's just a no-no. You don't do that to somebody I know so well. You had no reason to send it like that, and then obviously push somebody off the track, and then because if you do that in a proper race, which of course you would in a real life event, then you would have been awarded a 5-second, 10-second penalty for forcing somebody off the track like that. So it was pretty erratic from my point of view. Which in that case, I made the person misjudge the brakes, able to get a switch back on the German. So I was like, literally just holding on to like, I've got nothing to lose and so on. And I just thought, you know what, I'll just keep it all together and... Oh, just not enough of a tap, but I was able to keep it on a straight line, and then had two wheels on the grass, and then I thought I was able to send it in, but no, I just had to back out on it and fight for another time. And I saw the Spaniard coming like a knight. See, like everybody else was on like a nicer rubber, having looked after theirs or something, and then see the steering input. Like that's the real difference. Also, there was no need to come in. Like there was no need to come in having got a load of tyre wear. I've got a load of fresh rubber. And I'm just trying to see. Obviously, there was no chance of me making it into lap 10. I saw some flashing lights going off from the Polish driver. No, he weren't flashing in the lights. It's just a sun reflection, that's all. Obviously, I had to pit as I thought. I mean, this is going to be crazy, that is. And those like about on fresher tyres also managed to make last of the tyres, and then, yeah, even one looked like to me as managed to do a two-stop and got close to winning the whole thing. And Kev just did a push to pass on that one, which was erratic. Coming down to the pits, as you do. We're in fresh new rubber. Rocky goes to defensive, and then the German misjudges the braking also, and that left Chris having to do a switcheroo on the Spaniard, which, in my honest opinion, it's just a no-no from Kev, which is all I can say. Left him just enough room after a bit of contact from Rocky, having came out of the pits only just. And not be going from my perspective, because most of the time it was just a bit boring, you know, just in clear air and so. So there was a bit of fighting going on between King Ears and Rocky. You see, as you can see, that there's an opportunity for the driver to make a move, which of course that were desperate. And you can see the King Ears was frustrated, flashing lights, saying, "What are you doing? You had no reason to do a push to pass, bruv." So that's a penalty on that one, in my opinion. Anyhow, what else we got? So we got the Lambo in that mix. So side by side between the pair of them, the French driver goes late on the brakes. And obviously you had Zitelli, who was also on one softs. Same with Dustin McKay. And of course, see like how smooth the steering process is. Just like to see what brake balance this person were on, who made it to the end of lap 15. Right from this moment, entering lap 16. So I just want to look as well, if I can, you know, see how disparate it was from the Italian, as that was it was a clean move in that sense, but it was another Italian that I just want to have a look at. So that person were clean from that side. So the Polish driver went for the move on the inside, did a switch back also. Good evening, Stumpy. Welcome along, my friend. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope all is well from your end too. And just looking there back on this race in particular, and then I had the move covered on the switchback, and then this happens. So did it come from the Italian in the freeway back? Okay, so we're just the softest of nudges. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, good to hear, buddy. Good to hear. Not so for this person who did a pinball effect on the Polish and on me. So that was just a push to pass on that one also. A definite penalty there in my books. Did the same with the Polish driver, and then, yeah, just like that. Kept it on the road somehow. So I just let these two fight best I could, although that the other Italians on fresher tyres. Unfortunately, no, it was a race to forget in that sense, because it was A lot of people in my lobby has done a one-stop strategy, so all I had to do was just finish the race regardless where I finish, and then yeah. So with this track being known to be a tyre killer, mostly for the front left, and there was some that there may be some that's on the wheel and some that's on the different brake balance setting, and having the steering inputs, and then even though there was some that have gone for a two-stop, like I gone for a two-stop in order to just to get through the return race best I could with a certain setting I was on. So and obviously I had no front left tyres. You could see that I pitted on lap 9 and I made those tyres last to lap 11 and might last for 11 laps. Like, how is that possible? But I mean, because I went from what was brake balance 5 to the rear on the first stint, and I went to brake balance 0, which obviously did the trick 1 lap more, as I should have. So obviously it's just like one of them races where I just had to bring it home, and then obviously we had a couple of people who quit the race as they wanted to do a 8 o'clock slot or 10 o'clock slot, whatever. So it would have been nice to get a win, but then especially when you're in a tough strategy type of lobby like this, it's just not easy. And I always said to myself that anywhere in the top 8 is still a good result, which of course is where you increase the DR. If I fail to achieve that, it's not to worry, because it's a game at the end of the day. So there's no point of stressing about it too much, because otherwise it's a bit, if you get at it long enough, and not for the whole race, 5 to the rear, obviously, because I've noticed myself that I was able to get laps, and if I would have gone for another lap also into lap 10, my front left tyre would have been completely red, which of course I had no chance of it to get the car turned in to where I want it. And so what I did in order to adjust the brake balance was go from 5 to the rear to the middle, 0. So then if I have a 50-50 distribution in that sense, to comfortably get the soft tyres to last for 10 laps. So this is crucial information for those who wish to do an over race. I'm not sure about if I'll be at it once more, but I'll see how it goes. But if not, there'll be another opportunity which will be happening this way. Made the fronts last longer. Say, like, for example, if you have the brake balance to 0, of course, then you'll get to 10 laps of it, even if you're on a pad, and with the controller sensitivity set to 9 or 10. And then, of course, if you put like what is 3 or 4 to the front of the brake balance, I'm not too sure. You might get a little longer, but I could be wrong unless somebody tells me, because I've not had a chance to see, to obviously I did do at least a lap or two, and then just like get away with other things or whatever that you needed to do. So better safe than sorry, just for the race trim, just like 0 on the brake balance. So therefore you'll get at least therefore you get 10 laps for sure, as long as you keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble, and then obviously depending who you're racing with, but then of course it just wears your tyres even more also, which obviously in that sense I was able to get on a clear track in front of me and do the job efficiently. So the French driver Doc Brown in the Iron Danes livery has made it, yeah. It depends on some cars, really. I mean, and track specifics, and then so like obviously when I was doing the Nations Cup race in the Red Bull X 2019, the competition cars. I have to get the brake balancer to the front of it just a little bit because of how much rear downforce you get with the amount of downforce you have underneath you, and with no traction control, that of course you save some fronts. At a track like Spa-Francorchamps, for example, my fronts were okay, but the rears were just a killer, especially with them being mid-engine rear-wheel drive. Whereas for the Lambos, obviously, for example, in a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car, that of course it's a different concept because there's more weight to these GT3 racing cars. Obviously, with less downforce and lower speeds. And then if you go for a front-engine rear-wheel drive car, it's also different too. So each to have their own characteristics, and then unless whoever's watching or lurking there can tell me any different, to share their thoughts on how they feel on whichever setting on brake balance and equipment they use, regardless whether it's a controller or a pad. So something has happened further up front, and so that of course that person had no left rear tire. Whoa, what is going off there? And he thought, that's it, I'm leaving this one. Have a nice day, y'all. Bye. 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 Oh, he's not paused it yet. I mean, this is the thing because the weight transfer is everything on that sense, and then he's just spun, and then the left rear just could not stick to the road, and he quit. Oh dear. Yeah, this is the thing that if you move it bad, then obviously you create a bit of a slide, and then you start to feel the tire wear also, which you don't want to be sliding the car too much. You want to just keep it on a straight line to as best you can whilst braking. And not too much trail braking, unless if you need to. But in all fairness, that you could do some trail braking whilst you're in a qualifying lap, whereas in the race, a little bit, but not too much. But then again, it's just about, in a track like this, is tyre management in that sense. And then I was very close to catching the Polish driver, which I had a bit more tyre than the Polish driver, but one of them things. And so I'm going to open the daily ticket, see where I win. Could be worse. 5k. Or a car. 5k it is. Fair dues. So just a little something to show you of what I've been doing behind the scenes in my own time, and obviously that's the sort of livery that I've been doing also. The collab of Penske and Iron Dames, of course, with a bit of additional sponsors on the car, which is what I've been doing behind the scenes in my own time. A mixture of the 963 and the Iron Dames colours. I thought, why not? So you have a collaboration of two teams, even with a bit of a monthly, of course. Yes, the Huracan's the meta for the nations for this one, of course. And obviously, I had two Ferraris in my lobby, and they're good at the starts, but for the race trim, not great in that sense. So that's why a lot of people are just using the Lambos because it's the car to use. And then you also look at some of the odd ones, even the Honda NSX, as well as the Audi R8, which I've not seen the Audi R8 being in use, nor even the other car. But other than that, that's very much all I've got time for this one. And I just want to say thank you very much about to those of you who tuned in, and well done to those who took part, and then another chance for sure, like if it's not going to plan, and good luck to those who are taking part of this round later on the day as well. Not the best of the races from my end. I've been started in 7th it were, and then obviously tyre were just been a nightmare. A bit of a shift to the brake balance also from 5 to the rear to the middle, which of course anybody wishes to do that, it's up to you. It's up to you. That way, it's what got me 10 laps at least, if you wish to do a 2-stop strategy with 0 brake balance. And yeah, so anybody liking the content, smash that like and subscribe if you haven't, for those who are new to the channel. I do open lobbies, I do some league race adventures, and then sometimes daily races, or whatever else I've got going off the outside world. And other than that, I'm going to get something to bite. And I'd just like to say thank you very much to those who are just tuning in to say hello while on the go. And well done to Dustin as well on the 4th place. Hopefully one better like him when he gets a chance. But nevertheless, it's been a pleasure regardless. And other than that, I'll be live once more on Saturday. For what I read a bit is we're at Suzuka for the Nations Cup in the Formula 3500, the 90s style Formula 1 racing cars. I cannot wait to race in these monsters. Back when times when the racing cars were much simpler in those days. Even when I was doing some open lobbies on that occasion also. But other than that, I'm going to have to cut it short, boys and girls. May you all have a great evening, great afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you're up to. Most of all, take care, stay safe. And from myself, Danny C, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.